to this one, which is the Teals. Now, the Teals, of course, think they're the bee's knees. They think that everyone just throws rose petals in their direction. Of course, their primary vote, apart from a couple of seats, is not flash. It's the preferences from Labor and the Greens and everyone else on the ballot that gets them ultimately elected. But, of course, every now and then they have to remind us, look at where we still exist. And this is the member for North Sydney carrying on that she believed that Question Time was an unfair workplace a couple of weeks ago.
Once the dissenting motion was moved by the opposition, I believe the tone of the debate was overly aggressive and personalised, with numerous examples of condescending and offensive language, designed, I believe, to intimidate others within the chamber.
Now, of course, apparently there was a single example or a person from the coalition side who, made them feel uncomfortable specifically. And Zoe Daniel, a leg spender, backed the North Sydney MP to say the male comments from MPs in Question Time are utterly inappropriate. Well, name them. But also, what about this scenario where they're all willing to have a crack at Qantas, but they're going to keep the Chairman's Club lunch? At least the hardcore Green from Griffith said, I don't want it. But I tell you what, when you turn around and say, and you know this as somebody who, of course, represented McKellar, and you've got one now there's no plans of turning any of those beaches into places where wind farms are going to go. There's no plan for any doggy park around central Sydney to be turned into solar farms. And many of these MPs, of course, well, they walk a walk, but they talk but they don't walk the walk.
Look, if Sophie Scamps tried to put one off our northern beaches, she'd have me to reckon with, I'll tell you.
Ripping!
And she's only just started to work weekends. She's just discovered that's necessary.
Okay.
But aside from anything else, those comments make me so angry. It is not a polite debating society for ladies of a certain age who are well-dressed to have a nice time. It is a place where decisions are made about the future of the country. It's a place where there are hard-held views. And we got rid of swords, guns, fisticuffs. The width of that table is the size of two sabres.
It's adversarial. By design, it is adversarial.
Do it by.
Right.
And that's the way we have those debates. Now, you can walk into the chamber at any other time of the day other than Question Time. There'll be two men and a dog there. And somebody will be making a remarkably boring speech.
Correct.
To which somebody in their office will be listening. But at the end of the day, that Question Time is a vigorous part of what happens. The office of Speaker is the oldest position of the Parliament. It goes back to the 14th century. And this is the form that has developed, that has allowed democracy to develop and allowed fierce debate to take place and ideas to be seen.
And indeed, in fact, the tradition of the Speaker being sort of dragged to the chair is because back in the day it was the most dangerous position in the Parliament.
Correct.
If the Parliament did something the King didn't like, he'd chop off your head.
But again, it gives an example about these Teals, that they want a scenario where if it's a community forum
sympathise with Bronwyn.
that they can stack out, or a Q&A audience that'll always clap. People disagree, they can disagree strongly as long as they don't disagree violently. Yeah. And if somebody is behaving inappropriately, name them. Otherwise, it's clearly not to the threshold of behaviour that truly is that offensive.
I just feel like the Teals should have Wikipedia'd Parliament before they got elected into it, because they don't seem to like any of the things that go along with the job of being an actual MP.
Surprise.
They don't like the number of staff they have that everyone else has. They don't like the culture of Question Time. Did they not watch it on TV?